So to start, I thought it'd be a good idea to go over what the code actually does. I think most of you have it working already, but an explanation is probably a good idea. So you can start on the Teams page in this channel, and under the files, there's the folder, and you can download all these files. This BCN one is going to be the one that the code for the Arduino is in, and then these two are the Arduino libraries that you need the script to work. So unzip this one and keep these two as they are in the zip folder.
You should also put the SD in your computer with the adapter. I know there's at least one person in each flat that has one built into their laptop. And then you can right click it, format. And the best file system is FAT32, which if it's a 16 gigabyte memory card, that should just be the default and it should work.
So once you go ahead and open the script in the Arduino app, you're going to want to start by going to Sketch and then include library, and you can add a zip library. So you're going to want to add the SD master and then the DHT sensor library master. And preferably it wouldn't have this one behind it. I've just already downloaded it twice. But add these two, and then there's a different way to add the LCD library. And then you can add the other LCD library by going to Tools, Manage Libraries, and then in the search bar you can type in this name on the right, and you can just type it with spaces. And then as you scroll down, I installed this one, Liquid Crystal I2C by Marco Schwartz, version 1.1.2. And I also think it's a good idea to install the regular Liquid Crystal libraries. So just erase the I2C. I installed the Adafruit and then the Liquid Crystal by Arduino. Make sure to install just the newest version that you see here. So in this case it's 1.07. And once you have those installed, it's probably a good idea to close the Arduino app and restart it. And then after that I can start explaining what everything in here means.
So to break the script down, this portion here just sets the time interval. Right now it's at 10 seconds, and that's because we set the time interval here, so time equals how long, which is 10 times 1,000, because the Arduino measures it in milliseconds. And then all these portions reference the libraries that you just uploaded. So basically what that does is, by uploading the library, you're telling the Arduino what a certain command means. So if you didn't have it and you typed a specific thing that's in the library, the default Arduino wouldn't recognize it. Then lower down here, you set the DHT pin, which in our case is number 2, but you can set the pin to something else if you want. And then down here, you set the CS pin for the SD card reader, which is currently set to 3. And then down here, this line just tells what kind of DHT type we have. So we have the DHT22. There's also a DHT11, which basically does the same thing, but it's a bit less accurate. And then this just starts the SD file. So this void setup portion basically does what it says. It sets everything up. So this starts the Arduino, and then it tells the Arduino that the CS pin, which we set is CS pin 3, is for the SD card, so that's the output. And then the input comes from the DHT. And then the second portion starts or initializes the LCD, and then it also starts the backlight, which is necessary for it to work. And then this portion here is basically from the SD card tutorial that you should have done before. So if the Arduino recognizes and sees the SD card, it'll just tell you it's ready to go and start. And if there's a problem with it, it'll tell you it's failed and the whole script won't work. So the SD card is kind of the key to everything. And then this portion here, it creates the file. So once you take the SD card out of the Arduino, it'll be named what this is. You can kind of change that, but I wouldn't mess with it unless you really have to, because sometimes I've changed it and the script has stopped working. So I'd stay away from that, but you can try it if you want. And then this portion here, as I labeled it, sets the labels. So I took this portion from the LCD tutorial that you should have done. So this portion here sets up the LCD, and we have a LCD, a 16:2 screen. So the set cursor portion gives the coordinates of where to start the text here, the T. So the first number here is, so this second number here is the line number. So the top line is 0, and then the second line is 1. And then these first numbers here set which space on that line to start the text. So we just want it to start at the start, and it'll put the T in the colon or the H in the colon on the second line. And that's just setting up the labels without actually putting the values in. So this second portion here sets up the labels for the serial monitor just on the first line of your data. So basically what that portion does is just makes this line here up at the top. And then the second portion does the same thing, but on the SD card. So if you didn't have the second portion, you can't really use it. You just see it on the serial monitor, and then it wouldn't work. So then it closes the file, and then you get to the looping portion. So this again checks if the SD card is working, and it opens the file and starts writing the data onto it. And if it's not working, then it'll give you this error. So it's always checking if the SD card is working, otherwise the script won't work, and then nothing will show up on your LCD or your serial monitor. And then here in this void send data portion, we're basically setting the variables for what each value means. So we set a float value, that means we can have decimals. If we set an int or integer, it just be round numbers. And temp, it reads the DHT temperature. And this command is one from the library, and basically the same goes for the humidity, the heat index, and everything else. So this portion here sends the data to the LCD screen. So it's basically an extension of this portion up top. So you can see there are two characters on 0, the first line. So we set it to 2 on the first line, just to skip the T and the colon, and then put in the temp value. And then this variable, again, came from here. And you kind of do that multiple times. I added Fahrenheit here. And then this is the humidity value and the percentage. And then this portion does the same thing. It just adds the actual data value under the label. So you have seconds, humidity, temperature, and then the heat index. And then this portion does the same thing for the serial monitor. It starts adding the values after the label. So here I just restarted it. The SD card's ready to go. You have the label, and then every 10 seconds it takes a value. And then this thing, the flush, saves the file and basically closes it if the SD card is taken out or interrupted. It makes sure that everything's saved instead of just writing on it and then forgetting what's on there. And then the delay is what we set up here with the time value at how long. And then you close the file, and you can just take out your SD card or unplug the Arduino and then do it, and you should be good to go. So for now, just to get more data points, I changed the interval to 2, but that's probably too short for what you're doing. But you can see it's writing every 2 seconds. The serial monitor will have the same clock as you have on your computer, but once you upload it, once you open the file, it won't have these, so it's important to record the time at which you start roughly, and then you have to count the number of seconds from when you started. So it's good to start at a round minute value, like 11:30 or noon or something like that. So then you can just close this, take your SD card out, and put it in your computer. And you can go ahead and open the SD again, and you have the data.txt right here. So you can open it, and you can see it's writing. And I pressed upload because I changed my mind about the interval value. So it started twice. So each time that you start the Arduino or press upload, it'll re-upload these labels so you know that's like your 0 starting point. And then here it's counting out the seconds as well, which will help. And you can do this in Excel or here, but I prefer to do it here. You can just select all these and delete the old data and make sure there's no space at the top. And now you just have a clean list. Save it. And then you can drag it over to your computer. And then I don't have Excel, so you can go to Google Drive and open a new sheet. And then you can click File, Import. And then here you have the data. And here you can import the data. And I usually just click OK, Import. And there it is. So you have your time interval, your humidity, your temperature, and then your heat index. And if it helps you, you can add one column to the left. And here you can add your start time, which you should do in military time. And then you go to Format, Number, Time. So then it's 3 p.m. And then I have an old spreadsheet from a project that I did, so you can just copy this text here as well. And then you can paste it in here. But our time value is at H3 instead of J2, so we just change that. And you can see you started at 3 p.m. or whatever your start time is, and it just adds the seconds. So it's easier to sort or keep track of. And you can see here that it just does the entire column, which just kind of slows down. So instead of B2 to B, B2 to B33. And just cleans it up to that. And then this is basically what your data table is going to be for the template for Grasshopper. So once you have that done, and whatever your sensor is, or if you're doing temperatures, you can just use this, and it's done.